and welcome back. We're good for like every other week now. Life's hectic. But welcome back to the When We Were Kids, a Monsters on Toybox Podcast. We are now located in Austintown, 1741 South Raccoon Road. And then also in Warren, where we've been. Like, for some reason, that address escapes me right now. But anyways, it's been busy times. And now we're getting schools back in session, finally. Fall is right around the corner. BJ is wearing a Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf shirt. But anyways, which made me think of something to talk about. In the fall, I always would play sports games for systems. Obviously, we know the only game you ever played was Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf. Is there any other sports games that you used to play in fall?
So I don't know about just specifically in fall, but like, yeah, there was a bunch of sports video games. Like obviously, like Tecmo Bowl was huge. All the Tecmo stuff. Tecmo Baseball I liked a lot. I played that a ton. Tecmo Basketball I played a ton. Which Tecmo Basketball was cool because you could like it saved your stats. Like you do a season and it had the memory chip in it or whatever.
Yeah.
The only thing about that game, after you played it for a little while, it was too easy. Like so you just crushed everybody. Like there was no real competition. Like you would never lose. So all you were trying to do was be like the league leader and everything. So like I would pick the Trailblazers, I remember, and just try to lead league in blocks and points and whatever else. Like, you know, I just did that because like, oh, at least I'll play the Bulls and that'll be kind of hard for like a quarter maybe. But then, yeah, but no, there were several. I'm trying to think of there were others too, though, besides just the Tecmo stuff.
The only one I ever would play was I played Tecmo Bowl, but I didn't own it. So I'd always have to go down to my neighbor's house, Seth. He had it. But one of the games, or there's 3 games specifically, were like the only sports games I played for the longest time in the fall. I would play Madden 94 for Sega.
I remember that was huge. When Madden first came out, I didn't have Sega or Super Nintendo. My friend had Super Nintendo, and we would play Madden all the time. And you could play as like 2 people on the same team or pick you know.
I played Madden 94 like crazy. I was always the Cowboys. I'd always play Bulls versus Blazers. No, I was always the Bulls. More importantly, I was always John Paxson or Horace Grant most of the time because I try to get them the most. And Bill Cartwright.
Yeah.
What was the other one I used to play all the time? Madden 94, Bulls versus Blazers. And there's one other sports game I used. RBI Baseball.
Oh yeah, played a lot of RBI Baseball stuff too.
I played so much RBI. I never played the second one.
The second one was, I think, the best one of them. The third one is just exactly the same as the second, pretty much. There was like a couple little things different, but yeah, RBI Baseball. The second one was about like I remember playing Bases Loaded 2. That one was good.
I hated Bases Loaded. I don't know what it is about that game, but I hated it.
The first one, and then I think they did 3 and 4, which were like there was no difference between 3 and 4 at all. But 2 was like the first one that was like a little bit different, and it was the playability was better on that one. It was always weird getting used to the fielding because like it would do that weird camera shift angle, whatever on it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like traditional baseball, like looking at yeah, it always screws you up. And there were several terrible baseball games for the NES too that I remember not. Like Roger Clemens had one that was awful. There were a couple others that were just like, he's like, oh my God, I can't even play it. And then all the ones like I know everybody likes like the Baseball Stars, and there was a Baseball Simulator 1000, I think was one on.
Yeah, that was one. That was the robot one.
Any of the ones that were like futuristic, if it wasn't like regular baseball, I didn't like it. Like I didn't like.
Wasn't there one called Baseball?
There might have been, yeah.
Or am I just imagining that? I know there was one that was like a rabbit and some other crap. I forget what it was called though.
I played a ton of Arch Rivals too. Speaking of,
oh my God, Arch Rivals!
I loved Arch Rivals.
Okay, Arch Rivals. I never had it, but you just triggered like a giant memory. There was a place in Warren. I cannot remember the name of the restaurant. I think it used to be Stetson's, and then it changed to something else. but it's like in the ghetto of Warren. And my parents used to go eat there all the time. And whenever we get there, I'd place my order. Then my parents would give me like 50 cents. I'd run over and I'd play Arch Rivals, the arcade, because they only had that arcade.
Yeah,
they had a air hockey table and Arch Rivals. So I'd always play Arch Rivals. That game was so much fun.
Yeah, I liked Arch Rivals a lot. I played it. I remember playing it or the arcade. And then when it was on Nintendo, I just played that. Yeah, I played the hell out of that too. Where you just go around punching people in the face.
I loved it. One game that I always wanted that was always really fun. Speaking of Arch Rivals, was oh my god, it was just in my head and it escaped me. NBA Jam.
NBA Jam I liked, but I didn't. Like I said, I didn't have Sega or Super Nintendo, so I had to go play it at the neighbor's house, whatever. And every time I played it anywhere else, it was like great. I remember the first NBA Jam I actually owned was the Game Boy version, which sucked. I mean, you could kind of do stuff like it was always just like
NBA Jam was fun, but yeah, like the three main games I played in the fall were always RBI Baseball, Madden 94, and then Bulls versus Blazers.
Yeah, I remember being real big on because I didn't like Madden on Game Boy too. There's like the Temu versions of Madden and NBA Jam that I had. But yeah, I remember I played a ton of that on Game Boy and stuff too. But yeah,
Madden 94, I would always do the same plays and like they couldn't stop you. The worst part was when I was the Cowboys, I could run all the way back to the 1 yard line and just run up the sideline and no one could catch Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, there were always like glitch plays on every team. Like, yeah, like I can't remember the one Madden or whatever. Because I started playing that again when I had PlayStation. So I remember having those and like the college footballs and stuff. But there'd always be plays where it'd be like you could run for like 60 yards a run. It was like for no reason. Like, okay, like
and like this one kid I used to stay at his house all the time because he went to school with me. He had some NHL game for Sega. Maybe NHL 95 or something like that. But he would always beat me. And the one time I chose to be the Blackhawks and I beat him. Then after that, he would only be the Blackhawks. So then I couldn't beat him again because the Blackhawks were too good on my game.
Well, that was like if you played Tecmo against somebody, you weren't allowed to be the Raiders or you weren't allowed to be the Giants either because Lawrence Taylor and Bo Jackson were so ridiculous. Like, and you couldn't stop Bo Jackson. You just bounce off of him. Like, the guys are just flying. Like, so it was completely unfair if you, so you weren't.
1,000%. That and you could, back then, the way you'd pick your plays, like you could, because if you were going against somebody, you could instantly see what play they were picking.
Yeah. It's like, don't look at my controller. So yelling, don't look down.
It's like you're hitting like, up B.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I know what you're going to do because you only have a choice of these plays.
I remember for Tecmo Bowl playing as the Dolphins, and there was a play there that even if you guessed it, you could still complete a pass on. So like the guy would slant, and if you timed it, you would still hit him on the slant. Like your guy would get tackled, but it would go for like 10 yards every time. And I remember my brother losing his mind because I beat the Dolphins. I guessed your play. He quit, so he wouldn't play against me anymore. That's the.
There was a point in time.
Play.
There was a point in time. There was a Madden came out. I have to look up what year it was because whenever certain players came out of the draft, I would always beat them in Madden. I used to, when Joey Harrington got drafted to the Lions, I would be the Lions all the time. And my neighbor would always be whatever team trying to beat me. Literally, all I ever did was just throw Hail Marys with Joey Harrington and score like crazy all the time. And he'd get so mad. The one game, he was about to beat me. And it's like my greatest video game story I have for myself. So he could never beat me. And the one time he was beating me, he was going to have a heart attack because he was so excited he was finally beating me. I scored 3 touchdowns in 11 seconds. Like, no joke. Like, 3 consecutive touchdowns in 11 seconds. I will never forget how it happened. I scored, trying to make my comeback. I kicked the ball off to him. He catches the ball. I hit him with the hit stick. He fumbles. I grab the ball, run in the end zone. Then he's such an idiot. So then I do it again. Oh, wait, no, wait. The first one was the Hail Mary downfield. Get it. That's touchdown number 1. Touchdown number 2 is when I kicked off to him. He caught it. I hit him. It landed, the ball landed on the 1 yard line. I got it, jumped in. So that's 2. And then the next one was I kick off to him, and his whole thing was, I'm not going to catch it. I'm going to let you down it so I can run the clock out. His guy touched the ball, and it landed. I scooped it up and ran and scored a touchdown. And he's like, how the hell did you just score 3 touchdowns in 11 seconds? This is ridiculous. And like time ran out. I won. He was so mad. And like his sons like ran outside because they were terrified because he just started throwing stuff because he was so mad. But that was like my greatest victory in any video game.
I used to play as for 2 or 3 years there at least. I would buy all the Maddens and then the college footballs, for PlayStation and stuff. And I remember I'd always play as like Hawaii or whatever, or just weird teams over in college football. But I remember playing against my one friend and all he would do was blitz the guys from Hawaii. So my quarterback just got crushed every play. And we went through all the quarterback, he hurt all 3 quarterbacks to where I had to sub in the punter by the end of the game. Because I was like, he killed everybody. I was like, dude, every time I went back, he just blitz every time. My guy just got killed every time.
When they started doing the college football games where you could make your own teams, I made my own team. My friend made his own team. I don't remember what his was called, but I'll never forget mine. The colors were blue and green, and I made my field all blue, and we called the Dick Tech Shooting Shafts because they had this awful logo.
Yeah,
that was like it looked like 2 pillars shooting out something. So I'm like, I'm calling my team the Dick Tech Shooting Shafts. Of course, I made my quarterback amazing, and the rest of my team just stunk. I just hope they'd actually catch it or be able to run the goddamn ball. But Canfield Fair is a huge deal around here, and it just ended yesterday. Thank God, because I hate the Canfield Fair so much.
I haven't been to the Canfield Fair in it's been at least 3 or 4 years, and I think one time I went whenever John Fogerty was there, I went because my parents got tickets. And so we went to that and kind of walked around for a little bit before that, whatever. But yeah, it's been a while.
I hate it. It's so expensive and it's so hot, all the time.
It usually is. This year actually wasn't as bad, whatever, weather-wise anyway. But yeah, I didn't go again. Yeah.
But do you have any fair? We'll say Canfield Fair, Trumbull County Fair, or street fair memories from when you were a kid.
Oh yeah. Well, the street fair in Columbiana that coincidentally actually happens this week again, but that's every year. But I remember just being a kid and just running around that thing all day, every day. It was there, it was there literally every day, running around the street fair. But we had another one in Columbiana. It was called the JC's Festival, which they just set up where Burger King and Taco Bell is there. There's this little. It was tiny, but they did always have
fast food fest.
No, it was just, but they had a couple rides. It wasn't big at all, whatever, but they did have an arcade there for it. They brought, but I remember that being huge because the Simpsons game and the Turtles game, just sitting there shoving quarters into that thing, and there'd be a line around it because those was super popular ever. So I remember doing that a lot. Getting the arcade, that was always fun.
Yeah, I remember. I graduated from Lakeview, so we had the Cortland Street Fair. The street fair is nothing like what it used to be. It used to have rides, vendors, food. Now it's just food. There might be an alley that has some games in it, but I'll never forget when I was younger. I thought about this the other day because someone sold me some old Simpsons shirts. I wanted one of those Simpsons shirts so bad, and they had one. I was like, "Can I get it? Can I get it? Can I get it?" And my parents finally agreed. And my mom goes, "But you can't wear it to school because it was Bart Simpson with a slingshot." And I said, "I'm an underachiever and proud of it." So that's the one memory I have from the Cortland Street Fair was getting that shirt and being so ecstatic, but then I couldn't ever wear it to school.
I wish I still had the bootleg Beavis and Butthead shirts that I had from back when that came out, because you couldn't wear those to school either. They make you turn them inside out. But yeah, there was I think we talked about this before. There was the one where they're beating up Barney with a baseball bat.
Yeah. There's like the Jamaican one where they had dreads and shit.
And like, yeah, I mean, you watched those one time and they were completely warped. They were gone, those bootleg shirts. But yeah, I remember everybody buying those like at the. But yeah, that was a street fair thing. You get those there.
So, that was Cortland Street Fair. Trumbull County, the Trumbull County Fair. My parents lived down the street from it. So I'd go there like way too much because before a certain time it was free to get in. So I just pretty much just go there to eat. But I'll never forget younger. This is when I started driving. I remember we went and someone freaking puked all over the barrel ride. So it was closed down. I'm just standing there watching them hose it down. I'm like, I'm like thinking in my head, like, how nasty was that to be in that hot ass barrel when that person just started ralphing everywhere?
That always happened with that one stupid ride. It happened at the Columbia Street Fair because they had it where that one thing that was like a wheel and like you stood up and it was like you stood up against the thing and then they strapped you in and then it zipped around and did all whatever. People always barked on that too. And I was like, I remember I rode that one time and I'd be like, this sucks. Like, why would anybody ride this stupid thing? Because it just, you just get off and you're just dizzy as hell.
I used to love spinny rides. About a year or two ago, took my kids to Kennywood, rode a spinny ride. I'm like, yeah, I can't do this crap. I can't even ride the carousel. I'm like, oh my God. I'm so dizzy.
I haven't been to Cedar Point or like I've ridden a roller coaster. I mean, it's been, God, I mean, I might have went when I was like late teens. Like it's been over 20 years since I've been on a roller coaster. I used to. I mean, I liked most of the roller coasters and stuff when you went to Cedar Point, whatever, like in rides. But yeah, it's been so long. I don't know how I'd react to that these days.
I think it's been like 20 years for me since I've been to Cedar Point. I've only been to Cedar Point like I don't know, maybe like 3 times my whole life.
We used to go once every summer for a while. I would probably 7 or 8 times I was there, but yeah, it stopped. I can't remember when that stopped or the last time I went. I think had to have been high school. And the last time I went, my grandma was still alive. My grandma would go and she would like 60-some-year-old grandma who's like 6'4", who's huge, but she would always go on the roller coasters. And everybody would be looking at her like, are you sure you want to ride there? She's like, oh yeah. And she loved it. She would go on, she rode every coaster. She didn't give a shit.
I'll never forget when I was younger. I don't even know let's see when this ride came out. It was the year the Raptor came out.
That might have been the last year I went to Cedar Point. Was a ride. The Raptor was when your feet dangle off the thing. That was like one of the first ones like that.
Yes.
So whatever the year that was that came out, that was the last year I was at Cedar Point.
So it came out like 1993. 93, 94, I think, is when the Raptor came out. So we were there specifically for that. I hate roller coasters. But I was like, my cousin got me all hyped up to ride this stupid thing. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to ride the Raptor. This is going to be amazing. I was so goddamn terrified because, like I said, your legs are just dangling. People like lost sandals and everything else.
Yeah.
So like we go on it because I think it goes up real high, drops, and does like a double loop. I'll never forget. Like we're on the first loop, and like it just like it's like so silent. I'm like, oh, it's over already. I open my eyes, and I'm just staring straight up into the sky. I'm like, oh crap! I just closed my eyes for the rest of it. And then the second I got off that ride, I ran to the gift shop to buy the shirt that said I survived the Raptor.
And I remember the Raptor. I never rode I wouldn't ride the Magnum because there was always like horror stories about it getting stuck up there and people having to walk down. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And then that was like, I'm like, yeah, I don't care about this. This is too high, whatever. So that one scared me. I heard most of the other ones that were there at the time though. Like, and I remember the Gemini being rough as hell because it was all wood. The Blue Streak being rough as hell because it was all wood. Like
Raging Wolf Bobs. Raging Wolf Bobs was the worst. I'll never forget. I rode that with my cousin. Oh my God. I came off with bruises all over my legs because that thing beat the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm. I remember the first The first roller coaster I really remember being marketed a bunch as a kid was the Iron Dragon. Remember that one where it was like you sat in the
My
cars
friend
and they
laughed at me
swung?
because I lost my mind on that stupid thing. Because that was all right. So I rode Raptor in like '94 or whatever, and then like 2021, maybe. No, it was not. It was not 2021. It was like 2001, 2002. I rode Iron Dragon, and my friend was laughing at it and making fun of me because I was like, I swore the whole time on it. I hate that stupid thing.
I like that one. That one wasn't crazy, whatever, too. But I'm not sure that one's still. I'm not sure which ones of these are still there.
I have no.
I'm
clue.
sure they've replaced them with new rides at this point. I'm guessing
New rides that don't work.
Probably not there anymore. Yeah. And what was the stupid thing at Cedar Point where, like, you rode on like the slow moving train and all like the puppets and shit came out and shot at you? It was like
I have no clue. That's my type of ride.
It was like Frontierland or some shit. Like, but yeah, you were on this thing and yeah, stuff would come out and yeah, like it was like the Wild West and stuff would come out and shoot at you.
The one ride I loved at Cedar Point was oh my god, I can't remember it now. It was the indoor roller coaster where there was no track. It was like a half a tube. Oh my god, it was like. Oh, Disaster Transport. That's what it was called.
I can't remember if I rode that one.
Basically, you'd wait in line forever just to get into air conditioning. Because that's why everyone wanted to go on it. Was because when you got in the lobby, there was air conditioning. And the ride was only like 2 minutes long, if that. But, yeah, Disaster Transport was like one of my favorite rides. But then they tore it down and put something else there. But, yeah, Disaster Transport was fun. Raptor terrified me. Iron Dragon made me swear a bunch. I refused to ride Magnum. Top Thrill Dragster, no thanks.
I never did the that stupid demon drop either. Where it was just like, I'm like, okay, that just looks like I'm going to get a headache. All the blood's going to rush into my head, and I'm going to have a headache the rest of the day.
Geauga Lake, I used to ride the Texas Twister all the time. My dad was like, oh, I got to go on that, which my dad never rode rides. So I'm like, why do you have to go on that? He went on it. He hated it. He called it the Texas Torture Chamber. Because, like, I guess when they put him down in it, he was too tall. So, like, they clamped him down. He was, like, hunched like this as he rode it. So he was like, it was terrible.
What was I can't remember what it was called, but there was that one right at Cedar Point where you were in you went down like the big logs down the hill and splashed into the water and everybody would stand on the bridge and get soaked or whatever.
Kennywood still has that. I think in Kennywood it's called the Log Jammer. I think that's what's called at Kennywood. Geauga Lake, Geauga Lakes. It just was Geauga Lake or Cedar Point. Snake River Falls.
See, I went to Geauga Lake a couple times, but I don't remember.
All right, Snake River Falls is at Cedar Point. Geauga Lake's water ride.
I didn't go to Geauga Lake a whole lot, so maybe once or twice. So that I don't have a lot of memories of there.
We used to go once a year because that was my dad. The company he worked for. Every year would buy us tickets. That was their picnic. The company picnic would be at Geauga Lake. So once a year we'd go to Geauga Lake. And it was awesome. Even though I really didn't ride anything. But I do have a great, it's not really great, terrifying amusement park story. I think it was happened at Geauga Lake. So I don't even know. I had to have been like 6 or 7. We're at Geauga Lake. I'm with my aunt and uncle. They're walking around with me. My mom and dad are with my sisters and whoever else. And I wanted to ride. I don't remember what ride it was. My aunt and uncle told me no. I wasn't allowed to ride it. So I stood there at the gate of it. And they walked away. I was at that gate by myself for 2 hours just watching kids ride the ride because they wouldn't let me. And my parents freaked out because they didn't know where the hell I was. I stood there for 2 hours watching other kids ride this ride because my aunt and uncle would not let me on it.
Bastards.
My aunt was like notorious for doing shit like that. Like the one birthday, she asked me what I wanted, and I said like I wanted WWF Hasbro's. I went to Kmart. I'm sure I told this story. And they only had $1 Million Man and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And I hated both of them. And she told me I wasn't allowed to get anything else because that's what I said I wanted was Hasbro's.
I do remember, as far as roller coasters and stuff, like I remember being too small to ride certain rides, and then like you're sitting there standing on your tiptoes to try to get on the ride. And I remember being turned away, like you can't ride this, you're too small, you're not tall enough. I'm like damn it, like waiting in line, get all the way up there, and then getting told I can't ride it. But yeah, that happened quite a bit at Cedar Point. I remember before I finally got tall enough to ride everything.
Yeah, what was it? The year Canfield Fair is just always so hot. I'm so miserable. Like I'll eat one thing. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to leave. Like, why the hell did I come here? I'll never forget. Me and my group of my friends went there the one year that chocolate bacon was a thing. We walked around for 4 hours to find the booth that had it. Finally found it. That shit was gross.
I don't like any of that. It's like when they were just randomly covered shit in chocolate. But yeah, like chocolate bacon's not a
chocolate bacon. And no joke, it tasted like a chocolate covered shingle. It was so nasty.
It's just weird. Like they'd be like, "Oh, isn't it?" Like, no, it's just
that was also my buddy just made a post saying it has been so many years since he's tried a gyro, and he ate one the other day, and he was like, "It's just now." Because when he tasted a gyro for the first time was when we got chocolate covered bacon. He puked in the trash can at the fair because he hated it so much. He like took a bite out of it and just puked in the trash can. Gyros are good as long as you don't get them with that stupid teriyaki sauce. Or not teriyaki sauce, that tzatziki sauce.
You don't like that sauce?
No, that's just gross.
That's the whole point of getting the gyro.
No, I had a gyro once. Somewhere in Cleveland. It was they had their own like different kinds. It was cheddar cheese, barbecue sauce, gyro meat. That thing was so damn good. And never once did I ever, well, going into it, my buddy kept saying, don't pay attention to the cashier. Just pretend like everything's normal. I'm like, why are you saying that? Then we left. He goes, you did really good at not paying attention to her. I was like, why was I not supposed to pay attention to her? He goes, because she has a baby hand. I was like, I was too busy staring at this weird drunk guy in a dress. It had like he was like bald, it had a beard, it had a dress on, like he could barely stand. I'm like, that's who I was staring at. So I did not realize that she had a baby hand. But that's where I had that delicious gyro I had that I don't even know what it's called. But like I said, it's fall, so it's football, all that fun stuff. Do you have any? Did you play in the high school band?
No.
That shocks me. I honestly thought you were good.
No, I played sports. I played baseball, basketball until I was a sophomore, and golf. Although I played baseball and golf all the way through, but I started playing music like I started actually playing bass and stuff when I was probably a freshman. Okay. So like I just got in, like I was with friends, like sort of in a band, whatever. So like, yeah, the school band was like, nah, that's stupid. I don't want to play some stupid tuba. I don't give a shit about this. Or like oh, I'm a drummer. Like, you're a drummer, really? You go dong, dong, dong. Like, it's not really what talent is that? Like, why does that matter?
I was in the marching band against my own will. When I was in 5th grade, you had to choose between choir or band. And I chose band. My parents bought me a saxophone, and they did not let me quit playing until after I graduated because that was the rule they set up for me. And I was terrible at it. Terrible. So all through high school, I was in marching band. I was never any good. I hated it so much. I had to go every stupid football game.
Our band, I remember our high school band was so small at Columbia because our graduating class was only like 60-some people, but it was so small. Whenever like the band took the field, it was like comical. It was comically bad how quiet it was. It just sounded like it was like, what is this? Like there was like hardly any noise at all. Like you could talk over the band because there wasn't enough of them to make enough noise. There were enough instruments going on for it to matter.
God, I hated it so much because our band teacher, I couldn't stand him. And he did not like me either. And but it was painful. I hated it. Like being at every game. Oh my God, it was hot. You know, wear those damn uniforms, those stupid ass hats. It was so hot. But like, and then in the winter it was so freaking cold. I'll never forget the one time. Somehow our team made the playoffs. I think I was in 9th grade. I think that's what it was. I was in ninth grade. It was the only time our team like ever made the playoffs, and we had to go play. Who the hell was it? It was like in snow. I think it was like St. Ignatius or something like that. And these guys look like they're professional football players. Like the size of them was like ridiculous. They look like Looney Tunes characters. They were like gigantic torsos and arms and little tiny legs. And like we got annihilated.
But I have a good one. When I was in, it would have been like, I might have been 6th or 7th grade at this point, whatever. But we had a basketball team, and we or whatever for a youth league, whatever the hell it was, in Columbiana, and we went. I think we went. It was up near Cleveland, or whatever. We played somebody who was from Cleveland, and they might as well have all been like LeBron James. We lost 98-4. But I had 2 of the points. I made one of the buckets like early on. I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I had a bucket early on to tie it up at 2, and then they went on like a 90-2 run to end the game. It was like, oh man, we got annihilated. We were terrible. All of our team, like basketball and football, like the whole time from the time I was in middle school through like basketball, we sucked. Like I didn't play football, and I played basketball for a little bit. I was like, this sucks. I'm not playing with it. Our team sucks. I'm not playing on this. Our baseball team was good. Our golf team was good, but our basketball and football was terrible. I was losing by 90-some points. So
that's insane that you guys only scored 4 points.
That was it. Like, well, they were just ran up. I was like, they might as well have been dunking. It was like are these kids the same age? It was insane how good they were. We were just like, I don't even know. You barely, I couldn't even dribble it up the court. So I was like, what the hell? Oh, it was bad.
That's triggered bad memories for you. Yeah. So I was in high school. I was in the marching band, crap like that. Like I hated it so much, but you have to go to band camp to learn your stupid formations and crap for the band nights and football halftime shows, all that crap. Oh my god, I hated it so much. The one band, was it my senior year? I think it was. We convinced, I don't know how we did this. We convinced when we were organizing, we used to have to do a band dance for band nights. Yeah. So somehow my one friend was on the we'll say it's committee of organizing the band dance, and we got them to organize the DX crotch chop. So we y'all have to, everyone at the same time would just go, huh. I don't know how we got away with that, but we got to do that. But like that year, for band camp, I got like all of us in so much trouble. Because you used to play jokes on the younger kids all the time and gags. Like you'd put pennies in the door so they couldn't open them, shit like that. And I put Vaseline on all the doorknobs so you couldn't get your door. And I didn't realize we got chewed out so bad by the band director because he wanted to know who's the one who put the Vaseline on the dean's doorknob. And everyone's just like, we don't know. Then everyone's like, why would you do that? I just go, I just Vaseline all the doorknobs. I'm like, I didn't pay attention to whose it was. I just did it. So we did like dumb shit like that in band camp. Like I said, we had the DX crotch chop, which was like the best thing ever.
You mentioned having to learn. I don't know why this triggered this memory. Did you in your middle school gym classes? Did they was there like a period where they taught you how to dance? Or you had to take dance lessons, and what songs did you have to dance to?
Yes,
because this was the most horrifying period of gym class ever. Like it was the worst. Normally gym class was cool. It was like, cool to play dodgeball or something like that. But when it was like, it's dancing week, it was the fucking worst.
We had to do country line dancing.
Okay,
and it was always to Achy Breaky Heart.
I remember,
and I forget the other song, but Achy Breaky Heart is the one that sticks in my head. Yeah, we had to learn line dancing. It was so stupid.
There were 2 songs that come to mind. Horrifying. We had to learn how to do the electric slide.
That was the other one.
And the electric slide was awful. I do remember Achy Breaky Heart being there too. And then I also had to learn some stupid dance to Locomotion. Like so Locomotion, the electric slide. I was like, God. And then our gym teacher that taught this, by the way, nothing against what, like she was for sure a lesbian, like in like 80s sense of the word, like, you know what I mean, like you could picture what, but she would walk around, which whatever, but like she would walk around and she would do this. She would choke herself, like, so she would talk to you and she would be choking herself the entire time. Like, she was the freakiest gym teacher ever, Mrs. Elliott. She's probably going to see this, or somebody's going to pass this on to her. But it was like the weirdest gym teacher ever. And then you had to learn how to dance from her. It was like, oh my God, that was the worst week of gym class ever.
She's like, why aren't you choking yourself while you're dancing? Our gym teacher in the I think it was middle school, no joke, looked like all right, I forget her name from Three's Company. Her real name's Joyce DeWitt. Don't ask me why I know that. So it's not Suzanne Summers, but the other one.
Yeah, not Chrissy and Janet.
All right, so she looked like Janet. Literally had this awful tan, this Janet haircut. Her clothes were straight from the 70s. Like, that's what she looked like. And we're all just like,
right.
Like, she was just like, but she was like, she was our gym teacher forever. I don't even know whatever happened to her, but I don't remember her being nice or mean. I just remember she just looked like she would smell like mothballs.
Yeah, we had her.
Like, her hair was just like, her hair never moved ever.
Some of the teachers that we had growing up, and like you have such vivid memories of like weird teachers and stuff too. And then like you think about it, it's like these people are making like 20 grand a year. They weren't making any money doing this either. Like, it was like, oh my God, we gave them such a hard time. Like, I would not have done that job. I would have killed a kid. Like, I would have killed us if I was them. It's like, no wonder they're all insane.
Yeah, I never forget. We had a teacher named, he died a couple years ago, actually, Mr. Valleco. He's always nice to everybody, but like everyone always made fun of him about how he was wearing a toupee. And like, if you mentioned or even said the word toupee, you would just get detention.
Yeah.
It's like, gee, I wonder why you got detention. Oh, because you said someone has toupee. But we had a bunch of weird. We had this one teacher, Mr. Sieben. Oh, he was such a dickhead. He'd always pick his nose and then like rub it into his mustache. He was, I hated him. It's funny because I can remember his name because I sat in the front, the furthest row of his class, the first desk, right by his desk. And I would just sit there and stare at him, and he's just picking his nose and wiping it into his mustache. I hated that dude so much. He was such a dick. God, I hated him. I used to get in arguments with him all the time.
Yeah, we had, I think back at the teachers we had, like they were all almost like comic book characters now. And I think back on them, like they all had like their weird thing, or they all had like some sort of weird personality trait, or they looked a certain way or did whatever. But yeah, like I'm sure they weren't like that far off. If you saw them, they're like, oh yeah, it's whatever. But like as a kid, like everything sort of gets amplified on how they look.
Exactly. That it's like now it's like teachers are like normal. Back then, I won't say normal because there's a lot more teachers sleeping with their students now than then.
Right.
But like back then, like it was like a movie. Like you weren't living real life because you had like these most ridiculous. We had a teacher.
Oh, and wildly different ages too. We had teachers that were like 80 and ones that were like literally like 21, 22.
So I had a teacher for, I think it was for science, or maybe it was social studies or something like that. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I can close my eyes and picture him. But everything he did made zero sense. Like the one he used to say, "Jewels are cool." Like the one day one week we're like learning about dolphins, and he's like, "Okay, everyone, we're taking a field trip." We went to a sewage treatment plant. Like, what does this have to do with dolphins? It's like then you walk past this big thing of water, and it's like all the poop like forming together around this pipe, and you're just like, this is disgusting. This whole place smells like shit. Why are we here? Like, this has nothing to do with what we're learning in class. God, he was an idiot.
Yeah, it was always some of the stuff that they passed off as field trips back in the day. It's like, why are we here? What purpose does this serve?
Yeah, it was just stupid all the time. Like, that teacher was just so goofy. He was so bizarre. Like every day you'd be learning something new, and he'd give you a test on something. And you're like, this is not even what we even talked about. He was so bizarre. Speaking of bizarre, I haven't had a chance to see it yet. They did the Toxic Avenger remake that's finally came out after so many years. I keep hearing how terrible it is.
What's it on? Is it streaming on something? Or it's just
Theater.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I'll go see it because of curiosity. But like, do you remember growing up and watching like Toxic Avenger and all that crap?
Yeah, Toxic Avenger. I think I would have been in high school by the time I watched those, or we found those. I was probably a freshman or a sophomore, and then we watched. They were completely ridiculous. But I do remember watching those with my friends.
Yeah, so it's the way they made the new one. I hate it because it's a little person that gets mutated and he's still a little person. Meanwhile, the original, it's Melvin who's a geek, and then he gets mutated and actually has muscles and strength and all that crap. But like thinking about that made me think about how awesome going into the video store would be and seeing like those tapes and like the covers were the most ridiculous things ever. Do you remember any like ridiculous action movie or horror movie that you rented and went home and watched or whatever, strictly based on the ridiculous cover?
I remember this was getting closer to college, I believe. This might have actually been in college, because back then you would just go to Hollywood Video or whatever, and half the time I wouldn't even rent the DVDs. I would just buy, they would just end up being on sale for $5, and then you just buy them.
Yeah.
So I bought a lot of stupid horror movie. Like The Ginger Dead Man comes to mind with Gary Busey. Like I'd be like, this is going to be so ridiculous. I have to watch this. Like as far as like younger and just like horror movie like with box art. I think we like friends and I, we rented the basket cases because of that. Like that was like how we discovered that was just completely ridiculous. Yeah. There are a couple others that I'm probably missing that the movie probably sucked and it didn't resonate at all. So I just forgot.
Oh, there's a lot. I can rattle off so many shitty movies that had awesome covers. I can rattle off a bunch of movies that were actually better than their covers. But like the one that comes to mind was this movie called Headless Eyes. Oh my God, this movie was awful. It's so boring. Like the cover of it is a guy laying there, and there's like a giant eyeball that's like escaped his head. It's about some guy going around scooping out people's eyeballs with a spoon. Oh my God, it's so terrible. I was like, that's all I remembered about it. It was so bad. But like, I remember going out of my way. We used to have there's a video store in Champion that was next to like Ianazone's Pizza. I used to go there all the time because they used to have a bunch of tapes I'd rent. But like that's where I'd get all like the trauma movies, like Rabid Grannies, which is terrible. And then obviously Toxic Avenger.
I had another one that was really terrible. This one's not even that long ago either. I remember
Redneck Zombies.
I remember Zombievers or Beaver Zombies. I remember
Zombievers.
I remember renting that because I remember Bill Burr and John Mayer in the beginning and end of that. Like they're riding around in a truck. I'm like, we put it on. I was like, Bill Burr and John Mayer in this movie. Like they start off and it's completely ridiculous. But that was more recent though.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think of what other ones. I'll never forget when I had to go to the video store with a handwritten note from my mom saying that I was allowed to rent whatever I wanted. Like that was not rated X. So oh my God, it was like every weekend I'd go there and I'd rent Orgasmo.
Yeah.
I watched Orgasmo a lot.
Yeah, Orgasmo was a funny one too. I heard that.
I'm trying to think what other, like there's so many weird, like Ghoulies. Ghoulies Go to College. I'm trying to think of ones that had just ridiculous covers that I was like, oh, I gotta see this. Like I said, Redneck Zombies, Rabid Grannies. Oh, Class of Nukem High.
Never saw that one.
That was another trauma one that I rented mainly because of the cover art. Another trauma movie rented because the cover art was Mother's Day.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Like these were just like back then, like it was this shit that no one watched, and now everyone watches it. There's some other crap I used to watch all the time. I used to rent Strangeland a ton. D. Snyder movie.
I remember that. Yeah, that was a creepy movie. They were supposed to make a Strangeland 2 a couple of times, and
Captain Howdy.
It didn't come to fruition, whatever. And I still have the CD soundtrack for that. I remember buying that as well too. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I rented it so much, but then my friend just stole it from Hollywood Video, and then he just gave it to me. And no joke, for an entire year after school, I'd watch it before I had to go to work. I'm like, why do I? That and another movie I watch constantly on VHS. What's Biodome?
Oh yeah,
Biodome was a gem. One of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah, Strangeland was one that was a pretty creepy movie. That's sort of an underrated one that we didn't, that's actually that still holds up. That's a pretty good thing.
Because that's like when chat rooms first started.
Yeah, it's pretty disturbing.
And like when the internet first became a thing. But yeah, I can't really remember anything else I used to rent all the time as a kid. Video wise or seeing covers, I'm just, oh my god, I gotta see this. There's certain ones I saw that I'm just like, yeah, no. Like Ginger Snaps.
Oh yeah, I remember Ginger Snaps.
Everyone loved those movies. I'm like, I don't find the appeal of them at all.
Yeah, it was whatever. I can't remember how many I actually saw. I think it's whatever it is.
I think I watched. I think there was 3 of them. I think I watched all 3. I'm like, I don't like any of these. Why do I suggest? Like, why do I put myself through this?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's other ones that'll just randomly pop in my head of just the most ridiculous covers ever. And I'm just like, this was amazing, or this was terrible. Like that Telus Eyes was so bad. Like I couldn't believe how bad that movie was. I wouldn't suggest anyone to watch it. That's for certain.
Well, back then you couldn't. I mean, even with anything, with movies or music, whatever, like you just had to take a chance on whatever the hell you were buying. You know what I mean?
100%.
Many times I did that with CDs and stuff. I did it based on the cover art, and like sometimes it'd be like, "Oh, this is nothing like I thought it was going to be." I was like, "Ugh."
There's so much bad. Like I bought movies based on cover art and stuff like that growing up, and in my later adult years, that I'm just like, these are terrible. Then you're like, oh my god, these are amazing. Like there's there's one. It's real hard to find. I didn't find out about it until I got older. It was called The Abomination. It's about this guy. I can't really remember it. I loved the movie though. This guy finds this thing and it crawls into his mouth while he's sleeping. And he becomes like an incubator for it. And when it gets too big, he coughs it up. But then it like pretty much takes over his house and it's like living in his cupboards and shit. Yeah. It's just like super ridiculously gory and fun. Oh, yeah. Dead Alive. That's another one that comes to mind. I actually just talked about Dead Alive yesterday with Mike. Growing up loving that movie. One of Peter Jackson's like first movies.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen Dead Alive or not.
It's where the grandma's like eating soup and her ear falls off. She eats it. It's like, it's so ridiculous where he attaches a lawnmower to his chest and walk through all the zombies. Because someone gets bit by I think it's his grandma gets bit by some zombie rat at the zoo. And then basically people start getting affected. And then there's like a priest. He goes, I kick ass for the Lord.
I might have seen it alive at some point. I remember the Army of Darkness movies were real big when I was in high school and stuff too. That being everybody catching on to that.
Yeah. I'll never forget buying Army of Darkness on VHS at Walmart. Watching that like a shit ton.
Yeah, there were 2 of them, right?
It was Evil Dead,
and then
Evil Dead 2, and then Army of Darkness.
Oh,
Evil Dead 2 is pretty much, in my opinion, just complete remake of Evil Dead 1.
Yeah,
just with better effects. But I liked Army of Darkness way more than Evil Dead 1 and 2.
You would have one. I remember seeing it for the first time, and yeah, it would being really campy. And then I was like, "Why's this guy making jokes all the time? Like he's about to die, and he's making jokes every minute." It's like, yeah, in comic relief all through it.
Bruce Campbell's an acquired taste in a lot of stuff that he's in. It's like one of those, you either love him or you hate him, or you can only watch him in certain things. I don't know why this popped in my head. Probably because I just bought this thing the other day. So I bought it was yesterday actually, a sealed Godzilla mini playset, like Mighty Max. So like during the 90s, Mighty Max, obviously, Polly Pocket, mini playset toy lines became like a huge thing. Mighty Max actually also has a really good cartoon. It holds up. I don't know why, but in the 90s, Mighty Max and Polly Pocket just spawned like mini playsets to where like everyone did them. Except for Ghostbusters. But like TMNT had their own. Like Batman Forever had their own. Godzilla. I'm trying to think of some other ones. But they even did them for like watches and everything else. Pokemon had some. Did you ever have any growing up or no?
No, the mini stuff. I was not really. By the time those came out, like that was like late 90s sort of thing, wasn't it?
Probably mid 90s, 94, 95, maybe 95, 96.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I was doing, but it wasn't the way. it wasn't that.
I wanted them so bad. That Mighty Max cartoon was so good, and it made me want the toys so bad. But obviously, I never got them. But like looking back on it now, it is so hard to find those things complete because they all had little tiny ass pieces, and they're always just gone. Like I just got a sealed Godzilla one, and it's like $250 because it's sealed. But if it was loose complete, it's probably like I don't know, 75 ish. Some of those Mighty Max ones are crazy money, like crazy. It was cool because everything compacted down into the thing, so you can carry it around with you and play wherever. But like, all the pieces got sucked up in the vacuum, or
anything little pieces, or
like because they were only that big.
That's not
like then. Like I'm looking.
Half the time I'd open a package and I'd break whatever pieces were in whatever toy I had. I was like, oh, it's busted. I literally just opened it and I busted it getting the package open.
Like I look at him now, I'm like my giant hands. I'm like, I can't play with this shit. Like I can barely. I have a hard enough time trying to figure out how to get back because the Mighty Max sets, like if it's like probably one of the ones probably about that big, it will come with like a bigger monster, then like a smaller monster, and then a Max. So you have to figure out how to get the bigger monster in because when it closes, it'll either be like an eye for the monster or horns, tentacles, whatever. And I have like literally the hardest time in the world even trying to piece them back together. And I just get so mad I just throw them in a bag. I was like, I can't even figure out how to put this back together. And it's only 3 pieces. But like that Mighty Max stuff is like any of that stuff sealed is stupid money. Polly Pocket stuff is like very sought after, but no one ever wants to pay the money for it because it's like good luck finding it. But like if you could pick a toy line that did not have a tiny playset like that, I'm gonna guess you're gonna say Ghostbusters.
Outside of Ghostbusters, I'd probably do like, and they might have made these two different from how much. Did they ever do like wrestling ones? Like you could do like a little. I don't know if there's.
They've done like the little rings, but they never did like a Hulk Hogan face where you open it up. I think they did. They did one. WCW did one, championship belt. But like they didn't. Like all the Mighty Max ones were like a face of something. Same with the turtle ones. But yeah, they never did like open up Hulk Hogan's face and it's like water slide of doom.
I probably would have bought one if they did one of Gru. If they did that, like I mean, I don't know why Gru never got any figures. Like that, you got that stupid statue I showed you. That goes for like $500 now if you still have it because they only made like 300 of this porcelain statue. But yeah, like it was, I don't know, like just Wasn't popular enough of a comic, I guess, to get a.
What did he like? Wasn't it cheese?
Yeah, cheese dip.
Okay, so you can have a cheese dip Gru play set.
Then he had a little dog and stuff. I mean, yeah, but he was just a little dude running around, or he'd kill everybody.
So you would have had a Gru,
but he'd kill everybody.
So you'd have a Gru play set.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they didn't do that one. No wrestlers, no. I can't believe that they didn't do Ghostbusters.
If you would have did Ghostbusters one, what would you have had the play set be? And then have it open up to be like Slimer opening up to like New York City or Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
It would have to be one of those two, if not just do one for both of them. But yeah, it would have to be Slimer or Stay Puft opening up to do whatever. Or I'm trying to think if there's anything else like you could do it as like the ghost trap and the ghost.
Oh, that would actually be cool.
Yeah, like that'd be cool.
That would be cool. I don't even know. I asked you that, and I'm like, it just popped in my head. So I'm like, what the hell would I do? I think it'd be cool if they would have done. I'm trying to think. If they would have done a Toxic Crusaders one, because all the crazy colors from the 90s, it would have stuck out like a sore thumb. I would have loved it. What's another toy line that I feel could have had one? Barnyard Commandos would have been cool. Because it could have been like could have been a barn or a silo opening up.
Mm.
Then you have all the characters' heads you could have opened and to make whatever. I'm just trying to think of weird toy lines I liked as a kid. Oh, God, a Food Fighters one would have been awesome. You open up a fridge.
Mm.
Open a fridge, freezer, bread box.
Did they do Simpsons ones of that?
No.
That seems weird. That seems like that'd be prime for that. You could have done the Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf one. A big Lee Trevino head that opens up to the 4 characters on a golf course.
It's just him putting the whole time.
Kids, I mean, every kid wants to play with Lee Trevino action figures, don't they?
It's like saying that you want to have a Michael Irvin one, and it's him is doing drugs and banging hookers. Oh my God. Okay. Well, on that note, we're done for this week. Thank you everyone for tuning in and checking us out. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure to check out Monsters in the Toy Box in Austintown and Warren. Check out Turbo Lovers who are playing.
We got nothing.
We don't know.
New record's coming out in a couple months though. So
oh, there you go. New record. That means new record means more shows.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Next year somewhere. We'll let you know when it happens.
But thank you everyone tuning in and checking us out. We greatly appreciate it.
See ya.
Peace.